For me, the story of TIS started a little earlier than the famous 10th October. Each time I look back vis-a-vis where we are now, I always see the awesomeness of God's hand on TIS. Once again, thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to the late Mr. Chairman for what you have allowed the good Lord to do through you. Long live TIS, and may God bless us.
Teachers must have the passion to guide the development and learning of their students. They must love children. Just as each student is different, so is each day for a teacher. And that is what I call the teaching guarantee. Once a teacher, always a teacher. Happy 15th anniversary, Tema International School.
My mummy, your mummy, our mummy. Fellow students, staff, and members of the TIS body, please aid me in welcoming our founder, Mrs. Comfort Ajo Ajavon.
I can't believe that Tema International School is 15 years old. We have pushed the boundaries of achievements in international education in Ghana, and we will continue to do so. God bless TIS. God bless us all. Thank you.
Life is beautiful.
I'm thankful to be one of the pioneer alumni of TIS, along with all of my friends.
But now there's so many resources for you to improve yourselves and even do much better than we did.
Where are my Francis boys?
On that fateful day, 17th of October, 1998, after having the documents from TDC, I went to the land. There was a boulder there. I sat on it and shed tears of joy. I prayed that the school should succeed. I believe it has succeeded. I believe so strongly.
It gives me great pride to know that we have produced over 500 graduates that are impacting or having a positive impact in society. The founders had a dream that this school was not going to be for the Oxford goers, the Cambridge goers alone. They wanted the school to be a home away from home.
Thank you very much.
Hello, hello.
Shall we remain upstanding for the school anthem to be conducted by India Ajaman? Thank you very much, India. Shall we take our seats? Can we now have the prayers, the English, Muslim, and the Hindi prayers from Dev, Phoebe, and Khadija? Here.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghayril maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amen.
Shall we pray? Blessed Lord, we thank you for this opportunity to come and spend time as a family. We thank you for the seeds of vision that you sowed in the hearts and minds of Mr. and Mrs. Ajabon. We pray that as we celebrate 15 years of excellence, you continue to make TIS a haven of excellence. We thank you for more years in the future. We pray that your spirits will come and be with us, and we bless your name. In the mighty name of Jesus we pray. Amen.
ॐ भूर्भुवः सुवः तत्सत्वितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनात् मृत्योर्मोक्षीयमामृतात् ॐ गणानां त्वा गणपतिहं हवामहे कविं कविनामुपमवश्रमस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनशृण्वन्नोतिभिस्सीदसादनम् ॐ श्रीमहागणपतये नमः।
Good afternoon. Good morning once again, everyone, and welcome to Tema International School's 15th anniversary Grand Durbar. Before we start, let me share with you a brief story about TIS. Now, most of us get ideas when we are by ourselves, alone, in that comfortable position. Most of us get a lot of very good ideas when we have that me time where there are no distractions and no interruptions. But perhaps the one place that we get most of our very good ideas is when we are in the bathroom, when the water is pouring over our heads and running down our backs. But the big question is, how many of us actually do something? How many of us actually dedicate time and effort to that idea once we step out of that bathroom? I'm not sure about you, but what I do know is that 95% of the time, I don't. The idea almost dies immediately I step out of that bathroom. And this is what brings me to this special person whose story I want to share with you. She had a dream, but first she had an idea. And she nursed and nurtured that idea such that when she slept at night, that idea transformed into a dream. And before she woke up from her sleep, she held the dream by the hand and dragged it along from that state of semi-consciousness to consciousness. She did something about that idea. And that is why on this day, when we are celebrating 15 years of a worthwhile education that has sent into many, if not all continents, and in many, many more countries, students who are not only passive observers of situations, but active participants and contributors to finding solutions to problems in their respective communities. I want to take a little bit of time to say thank you to that one person because of whom today is a possibility. Mrs. Comfort Ajo Ajavon. Thank you so much for not allowing the uncertainties surrounding the realization of that dream at the time to hinder this wonderful and unique opportunity that we all have this moment. Thank you for holding on to your sanity during a time of despair, and by that act of bravery affording all of us the opportunity to be part of this reality, today's reality. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Luis Welagamo, a proud teacher of Tema International School.
And my name is Lydia Boahe, a proud grade 10 student of this distinguished community.
And together, we welcome you specially to the 15th anniversary celebration of Tema International School. We are thrilled to be the two people in the cockpit to steer this huge aircraft to a safe destination. And so if you're ready, just as we are, then let's kick everything off with a wonderful performance from the TIS choir.
Amina baba yetu li mjina la kweli tikuzwe. Tupeleo chakula chetu tunachohitaji utusamehe makosa yetu, kama nasi tunavyowasamehe waliotukosea, usitutie katika majaribu, lakini utoke na yule milele na milele. chakula chetu, tunachohitaji utusamehe makosa yetu, kama nasi tunavyowasamehe waliotukosea, usitute katika Madribi lakini utokwe na yule milele. Baba yetu yetu jina lako litukuzwe. Baba yetu yetu jina lako litukuzwe.
All the best.
That was a magnificent performance by the TIS School Choir. We are really fortunate to hear such majestic voices. The school orchestra will also leave us breathless with its performance of the piece Tocatina. But before that, ladies and gentlemen, will you help me in welcoming a man who is forever vibrant and never ceases to remind us about the core value of TIS. To give us a welcoming address, ladies and gentlemen, shall we invite our principal, Dr. Ken Darval.
They say that one should never have any regrets. So in that case, I must say I'm disappointed in myself, because I never got the opportunity to meet Mr. Ejavon. I was too late coming here. But I do know he's smiling down on us today, and also very proud. Welcome everyone to the special 15th anniversary Durbar, where during the course of the 15th anniversary, we've been reflecting on our journey and inspiring new directions. I'd like to say a special welcome to our guest speaker, Ben. I look forward to your story and wisdom and guidance that you present to us today. I also make special welcome to our second lady who will be joining us, and appreciate the time that she's taking out of her busy diary to join us on this special occasion. 2018, I think, is a year of milestones. We're celebrating the 15th year of TIS. At a personal level, I'm celebrating 45 years since I first started teaching. In October, IB is celebrating 50 years, so it's a big year all round. Notice a commonality of 5 in that. And when I look at when the school started in 2003, you add up the digits and we also get 5. So Ben, that's why yesterday I was really surprised when you said you were going to go, you got 10 or 15 minutes, because the magic word around here is 5. You know, if you're going to get up here, you've got 5 minutes. Is that correct, Sarama? Is that correct, Michael? So, but in all honesty, I really look forward. I already picked up your sense of humour, and so I know I'm going to be enthralled to listen to you. Another 5. 25 years ago, I had the opportunity for 2 years to be a quality assurance team leader in the New South Wales Department of Education. It was a secondment out of schools, and during that period of 2 years, I was able to lead the quality assurance reviews of 49 schools across New South Wales, northern New South Wales in fact, which is just north of Sydney, going right up to the Queensland border and halfway out to the South Australian border. Now, if you don't know Down Under or Australia, that might mean nothing. But that area is a bit bigger than the total area of Ghana and a few of its neighbouring countries. It was a great 2 years, because what I found was, for the first time in my career, there was a start and stop to everything. Because as teachers know, as administrators know, there's no start and stop. We're always doing something. Even during the holidays, we're following up things. You might think we go on holidays, but we're finishing up things. If there's a broken tap, a leaking air conditioner, there is always something. So that was absolutely a fabulous 2 years. And what we had to do as a team was go into a school, and it was a case of providing quality assurance to the community, to the government, to the department. And we phrased it in terms of strengths and future directions. And so what I want to say this morning is something of in a similar vein. But in terms of strengths, I'm going to state it in what I know. Because I have been here 3 years, which is 1/5 of the life of TIS. In terms of the future directions, I want to phrase it in terms of I wish. So let's start with what I know. I know that TIS is a family school based on family values. If we have to describe TIS in one word, it's family. Right? Everyone refers to Mrs. Ejavon as Mummy. Everyone refers to Cecilia as Auntie Cecilia, and Auntie Frances, and Auntie Kate, Uncle Bijou, Uncle AB, Uncle Festus, Auntie Margaret. It's family. And that's why when a student leaves or a staff member leaves, it's like a funeral, it's like a wake, because there are tears, because people have spent time living with and growing part of an absolutely majestic family. Part of that secret, I think, is the fact that it's a boarding school. And the fact that it's a small size with about 270 students makes that extra special touch where it is also a personal school. The second thing I know is that TIS is inclusive. We're not selective, we're inclusive. We want students to come to TIS who A, want to come, and B, can access the curriculum and also take part and experience in all the opportunities that we offer here at TIS. I think one of the things that has recently happened at the school is that we've moved to online testing. That's ensured that we have got test results. We've got test results available to us within 5 minutes. And the results are telling us what the strengths of a student are. Whereas previously we looked at curriculum knowledge, which was pretty unfair because every school is doing different parts of the curriculum at different stages. Whereas what we find out now, what are the individual strengths in terms of a student's verbal abilities and spatial abilities? It will provide direction to what subjects they should be choosing later on when they have to make a definitive choice. It also predicts, if challenged, what the scores will be at the end of grade 10 and the end of grade 12. That's pretty important information, and also in terms of preferred learning style. The next thing I know, number 3, is opportunities and experiences. There are so many opportunities and experiences here that it blows my mind. What we have and what we're able to do with students and provide to students, we've seen a couple of examples this morning with the choir, with the band performing, of which 3 of them were newbies who only joined us this year. The after-school activities, the CAS activities, service in action, the excursions, the overseas excursions. They're all valuable experiences along with the boarding experience that students can take away when they go to university and be the pride of their university. Why? Because they've already got the self-management skills as being a boarder. They've already been leaders of different groups and initiated different projects, right? Universities love our students because of the TIS experience. And we should never underrate that. The fourth thing I know is the outcomes. Right? Our goal here is to make sure everyone gets into their university of choice and the program of choice. Now remember that we're an inclusive school. So with that inclusiveness, we're not just saying we only want students that will get us 45 and make us proud. No, we want anyone coming in to the school who wants to enjoy and experience the IB experience at TIS, because it is the gold passport to universities. So when we talk about university placements, if you've not seen or read the TIS school profile, please go to our website, please go to About Us, and please go to School Profile. Go to page 4. I think there's about 238 universities across the world where our students currently, are currently placed, or as alumni have finished their studies. And that's amazing. There are probably 4 countries in particular that are very popular: United States, United Kingdom, Canada, and Ghana. but there's about 9 other countries as well where our students are. And it was a great thrill the other day, and I apologise to those students whom I interrupted when they were talking to Marie Noel, who's in Cyprus at the moment, a new university for the profile. And it was just great to hear a voice and for her offering advice, like our alumni do, on how to choose and best go about college and university applications. So in terms of outcomes, all our students go to university. I think the next important thing is that we also set the pace of education in Ghana, as far as I feel. We do that in different ways. We do it in terms of online textbooks, in terms of our communications through ManageBack. And I think the other thing that I challenge any school worldwide, not just Ghana, but worldwide, I challenge any school to show us a weekly communication to parents that is extensive as what our weekly bulletins are. Even on a quiet week when there are no students. Even on a quiet week when there are no students, I've seen a 15-page bulletin. Why? Because everything is fast and furious around this place, and I've got to admit, in this celebration year, Sarama, I believe Fast and Furious is on steroids this year because the pace is phenomenal. But there are so many things happening at this school, and that's what makes it special. I want to be balanced. I've mentioned 4 things I know, and I could go on, but I want to try and stick to that, Ben. So I now go to I wish, and I'll balance it off with 4. I wish everyone took a role in promotion of TIS. I think everyone here is TIS family members and TIS friends of the school are proud of it. But how do we go about promoting it? Yes, there are different announcements. It was been lovely in the last couple of weeks seeing students and staff talking about different events going on. But do we also share our stories with others? I know alumni do when they come here and overseas, and there's a lovely story in the special brochure that will be available today. But what we need to do is that we need to remember that each one of us is responsible for that promotion. It's not just up to the founding family, it's not up to the principal, it's not up to media and events, it's up to everyone. Students, parents, staff, the TIS community, to promote it. We are West Africa's best kept secret. But why are we a secret? With what we do, with what is so special, why do we have to keep it a secret? I want everyone here to be able to take on that responsibility, please. The next one is authenticity. Yes, you certainly see with how students perform, etc., and the work they produce, there is a high level of authenticity. But if we go back to inclusiveness, one of our strengths, we also need to make sure that being authentic means that we are participating and we are taking part and making the most of all the opportunities. As I read each year and look forward each year to reading the memoirs, reflections of our IB students, the common thing in each one is, I wish I took part in more experiences and opportunities. Boys and girls, you've got a great opportunity here and experience to add to your profile. Please make sure you're not a passerby or a spectator. Staff, let's make sure we're not spectators. And also parents, you have a role too, not to be a spectator, but to be part of what we're doing here. Let's be authentic. I wish for more parent awareness. Now, I did say we've got fairly extensive bulletins and monthly newsletters going out, but it's a case of making sure people read. And these days, is that still a priority? But we need to get the message out. I'm pleased to see the parents that have come along today. And the three things that I think that we need to make sure parents are aware about. First of all, they need to be aware of the middle years program. As Candidate School, we started it 3 years ago, 2016. So this is our third year, and we have our verification visit in November. The purpose of middle years program, and it's the second program in a continuum. We've been conducting the diploma program, the older brother, for the last 10, 12 years. That's the gold passport to universities. The important part about middle years program is to ensure that there is a connection from there to the diploma program. The IG was of value because it provided an external examination, and it's important that students have experience of an external examination before they do the diploma exams in grade 12, at the end of grade 12. About 4 years ago, the middle years program for the first time introduced e-assessments, external examination and moderation. Why is that important? Because IB has been talking for the last 3 or 4 years of introducing the same type of exams to grade 12. And they are different because the focus is looking about demonstrating conceptual understanding, which you can't necessarily do in a written exam or chew and pour. In terms of the connection, we have the same terminology, we have the same assessment grades, we have the same names of subjects, and there's a continuity that goes across there to ensure that there is a smooth transition from junior secondary to senior secondary. At this stage, my observations in several schools in several countries is that there is a disconnect so that when students move into grade 11, it takes about 3 months to fully settle into DP, and that 3 months over a 2-year period is important timing. We need to make sure that parents are aware and students are aware of the importance of balance. School is not just about academics. When students apply to university admission officers are not just looking at your academics, everyone's providing results. There's no difference there. What they want to look at and find out about you is what makes you. What leadership experiences have you had? And hopefully it's not just captain of the football team. What initiatives have you taken? What service activities have you performed in the school community? What after-school activities have you taken part in? Are you a participant? Are you a leader? Are you an innovator? Because that's the sort of student that universities want. And they're also the sort of students that will achieve scholarships when they do go to universities. We also need to make sure that parents are very aware of the subject choice that students make. I'm heartbroken when I find students are studying subjects that they really don't want to do, and they've applied for university programs that is not their first choice, but I'm doing it for Daddy. Daddy wants me to be a doctor. Daddy wants me to be an engineer. If the student is not doing what their first choice is, I think there's going to be a lot of disappointment down the track. Who's going to university? Dad, Mum, or the student? We want our children to be successful. Let's make sure we support them the right way, and let's ensure that there is balance. And the fourth, I wish, is for personalised learning. I was really hoping at the educational forum the other day that there would have been a greater emphasis on personalised learning, because I believe that's where the future of education is going and where it's already started in some places. We need to move away from one size fits all, the factory model system that's been operating across schools for so many years, for several centuries. We need to make sure, if it's going to be authentic, we can personalise it so that students are in charge of their learning. We have the capability of doing that with technology. That's not saying the teachers are important. They're always going to be the most important person in the classroom in terms of guiding students and guiding the learning goals and assessing students in relation to what they're doing. But in terms of resources like Cognitive that we use, that's a great resource for personalising learning. In terms of manage back into the communication, there's a great way there of making sure that we can record what we're doing. The important part, as I see it, is that there should be a greater emphasis on challenges and projects, right? And that's not just for students, that's for staff and parents. So the important question is, what is challenging you right now? What is your project? So that at the end of a year, at the end of an academic year, we should be able to see students, teachers and parents define what are the projects that you have completed this year? What are the challenges that you have taken? And once again, mentioning Manage Back, we can record that. And students, if you record those challenges and projects, you're setting up a great university applications that university admission officers are going to say, wow. So take up the challenge, take up the projects, make it personal, make it linked to your learning so that it adds value. Lastly, I'd like to say thank you. I'd like to say thank you to Mrs. Ajavon. I'd like to say thank you to the founding family. I'd like to say thank you to our pioneers. I'd like to say thank you to our alumni. Our alumni are incredible. Something I learnt that I didn't think of 2 years ago was an alumni came to my office and said, listen, you realise we're still family? Yes, of course you are, right? You might leave the nest, but of course you're family. Dr. Ken, when new students arrive at the university or the community we are at, we go meet them. We make sure they settle in. We provide them support. So they're living, authentic family members, and I take my hat off to our alumni. I'd like to thank our parents. I believe you made the right choice. I hope the experience here confirms that you've made the right choice. Without your support, there's no school. So you are valuable partners, and your goal is our goal in relation to your student, your child. I'd like to thank our staff. The hard work they put in to ensure TIS is a special school and what I believe is the best experience for students is enormous. It's hard work. I appreciate it. Thank you. To our students, you are what our experience and what we're here for. We are here for your success. But please, there's so many opportunities and experiences here. Please take part in it. Don't be a bystander. Thank you for making it special. Please enjoy our 15th anniversary Durbar. Thank you.
Now a performance. Now a performance by the TIS Orchestra. What's the name of the song? Shall we give it up once again for the orchestra as they set up? To give us a performance, Tokotina. Dr. Dr. Ken just spoke about being balanced. One of the ways that we ensure that our students are balanced is to create the opportunities for them to learn at least a musical instrument. So let's give it up once again for the orchestra for such a beautiful performance. At this point, we'll have Princess Asiedu to introduce our pioneer parent.
Our first speaker for today is a proud pioneer parent of Tema International School with 2 daughters. The first one being a member of the IB class of 2007, and the second one being a member of the IB class of 2009. She is a past assistant governor of the Rotary International and the chairman of the Ghana National Polio Plus Committee of Rotary International. She is also the initiator of the TIS SOS debates, which has been a gateway for many young debaters. She has consulting experience in strategic communications and social marketing, training and capacity development in soft skills, feasibility studies, and business planning and investment analysis with over 30 years of experience. She has consulted for various international development agencies, including World Bank, IFC, GIZ, and UNDP. She has a master's in business administration in finance from University of Ghana in 2000 and holds an LLB from the University of Aberdeen. She is the managing director of THCLR Ghana Limited, a soft skills development and change management consulting firm. She currently serves as chairman of the executive council member for the Kumasi Institute for Technology and Energy, also known as KITE, a leading NGO in energy and the environment. Ladies and gentlemen, with a resounding round of applause, can we please invite upstage Ms. Theresa Osei-Tutu.
Good morning, family. As I was coming here, I was filled with so much nostalgia. And I thank the orchestra that played Welcome Home. It did a lot of good to me. Thank you very much. I'd like to make a little correction in my introduction. I don't have an LLB from University of Aberdeen, but my children do, and I claim it for myself too. Thank you. The decision to send my children to TIS in 2003, my first child, was not easy. Not because of the reasons you were thinking, but for me personally, I'll tell you soon. I evaluate projects. So the first thing I did was to evaluate the school. And I evaluated it along 7 P's. I'll explain that soon. And I sort of ticked everything but one. The first was the people behind TIS. I looked at the people, the founders, Mr. Ajavon, Mrs. Ajavon, the board chair, Mrs. Sylvia Boy, Mr. Titi Ofe. I talked to him, I harassed him. Are you sure this is a new school? Do you think it will go? He said, he assured me everything would be fine. So I looked at the people and I assessed the people. And one of the P's that apart from the people, I looked at the parents. That's another P. They say if you're going to stay in a neighborhood, you have to check out who your neighbors are. I checked them out. I saw some Supreme Court judges. I saw some ministers. I saw a lot of people that I thought, okay, if these people would like to commit their children and take their children to a very first school of this kind, maybe I am not wrong in deciding. So I took my second P, the parents. Then I looked at the place. I came for a tour. I looked at the facilities at the time. This is a new school, but it had facilities that some old schools can't boast of having. And I'm proud that there were just about 7 or 4 people in the cubicle, and I looked at myself in university and people were on bunk beds and sleeping in packed like sardines. So I knew that the people behind it had a vision to make a great thing. So I knew I'd take the place. Then I looked at the potential. That's another P. Looking at everything, putting it together, I could just tell that this school had great potential. I take that. My next P is not too savory. It is a pig, a guinea pig. I was like, am I going to let my child be the guinea pig? Can I wait? And I thought, what's a guinea pig? I haven't even seen one before. Maybe it's a Ghana pig. But when I looked at everything together, I didn't think that they would be guinea pigs. These were seasoned people putting together such a concept. I even went beyond that to check the finances. I knew the IFC was part of this, so I did my homework. So I knew that even though they will be starting in the first year, they will not be guinea pigs. Now, my last P was the price tag. At that time, I must be honest, it was an agonizing decision for me. Honestly, I have today my analysis that I did, how I was going to be able to finance it. Today I stand here and I say that it was worth every peso. Every peso. So with all these pieces to put together, I knew that in my language they say the product was already good. I was sold on it. So I allowed my daughter to come in. So we come in. So that is the decision. I took the decision and I made it. Now the experience. I remember our very first PTA meeting. It was very consultative. And I'm glad to say here this morning that it is still as consultative as it used to be. In fact, I'll share a story. I remember when we were thinking of the acronym and the name TIS, a name came out as TIS. At TIS, we do that at TIS. And one parent said, no, we don't want TIS. We want the acronyms fully, like TIS, as in GIS. We also want that. And it was so, the board took it on and they allowed it to be called TIS, not TIS. There was another argument that day, and that argument was how we raise the children together. And there's a young lady here with the initials of SB, who almost like very, very vehemently about, no, this is the way we want your children to be. And one parent said that she wanted the school to have washing machines for the children. Hey, that was another argument. I don't know what you have. Do you still have washing machines here? You do? No. It was a tussle. And they said that, no, we want them to be independent and we want them to learn how to do it themselves. We are grooming them. It was another debate. I remember that so well. Anyway, they didn't yield to the parents at all. And our children are better off for that, I must say. I looked at the curriculum, the IB curriculum, and I was very happy with it. And one subject, TOK, you have that. Theory of knowledge is a very, very important subject. And I think that students should always take this on board and make sure that they imbibe it. This is a subject where you learn about your own emotions, your faith, your imagination, your intuition, even language, your memory, your reason, your senses. It is so vital and it helps you get in touch with yourself. When TIH says knowledge is the key, theory of knowledge is taught here and it is imbibed in the children. And I'm proud to say that my children know who they are. And if you don't know who you are, I think that you're going nowhere in this world. One of the reasons why people succumb to pressures, succumb to bribery, succumb to all manner of things is because they devalue themselves, not knowing who they are. And I'm happy to say that TIS helped me to get to know my children better and help the children to get to know themselves better. My TIS experience was positive. So students, please value the moments that you have now. The orchestra, there are certain skills that you will never learn after you are grown. Like they say, you can't learn to be left-handed in old age. If you want to learn anything, learn it now. You acquire it for life. And I wish I had the opportunity again to learn some of these and then to be at this age again. As students are always itching to leave school and to grow up, adults, we want to come back to where you are. So please cherish the moments and make sure that you savor it and you value every education that you are getting now. Now, post-TIS, After they left TIS, according to my children, and I know, is that TIS experience helped them to assimilate faster into university abroad. Not because of the facilities, but I think because they knew who they are. Because these are people who are very confident and know themselves. So you are going to meet people outside who will, if you're not careful, they'll really put you down. So if you don't know who you are and you go out there and you meet them, they'll kill your spirit if you are not careful. And she said that TIS gave them a firm grounding to assimilate very fast into university life abroad. TIS has also helped them with very, very vital social networks. It is amazing. And as for social network, it helps every time. It is magical, it opens doors, it makes things happen. So that is another very good advantage. The caliber of people coming here, the family of network that we are generating, and it's snowballing into bigger and better. I've even had friends, parents who are also now opened up another opportunity for me as a parent to enjoy. Now the children, I must say, after university, this is about just 4 or 5 years after university, I must say that they are financially stable. At this point in time, they don't need my money. Indeed, they have started giving me stipends. They have. Yes. And when I visited my first daughter, who works at Qatar in Shell, she had been inviting me for a while, and I wasn't making time to go. I was amazed at where she lived. And I was amazed. I was just thankful to God. You live here, me, I don't have that. I opened it, a butler came to take my things to her apartment. I'm like, wow. Francis and Cecilia, you must go and visit her. You must find time to go visit her. Confidence that they have, it's such a rare quality that anybody, I think, will have. It is not, the success is really not financial. I think it is the confidence that they know that they will survive, that they will succeed, and really that they can do whatever that they set themselves to do. Confidence comes from knowing who you are. It is such a priceless gift. And all students, everybody, you're going to need this in life. So to conclude, I must say that I am indeed a proud mother of 2 amazing ladies who know who they are. I couldn't ask for more. And I'm also a proud founding parent of TIS. I pay a tribute to founding father, mother, children, board of governors, staff, non-teaching, Eddie, and everybody who has made the dream of my children theirs and made this school a success. Actually, I have a grand-nephew here, and I'm happy to say that this family extensions are soon going to continue. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, pioneer parent, a proud one at that. I'm sure that at this point, if there's any parent here who are still wondering if he or she has made the right decision, all that doubt would have been demystified. Thank you very much. And for being a loyal partner, having stuck with us through the tides of the season, the different tides of the season, TIS wants to say thank you. And so we have a little token of appreciation which will be presented to our pioneer parent by Ms. Grace Atram. Thank you very much, madam. Now, I am sure that one of the things we would judge a school by in this 21st century world is the language taught and spoken. Now, Spanish and French are the order of the day. And so I'm sure if you were sending your child to a school and these two subjects or these two languages were not taught, you would begin to have some doubts. The two subjects are very effectively taught here, and our students are very fluent in them. And so I'll invite on stage a grade 10 student to give us a French poetry recital. Khadija Yanja.
Femme phénoménale. Femme phénoménale. Les jolies femmes se demandent où se cache mon secret. Je ne suis pas belle, je n'ai pas la taille d'une top modèle. Mais quand je commence à leur dire, elles pensent tout ce que je leur dis des mensonges. Je dis, c'est la portée de mon bras, la portée de ma hanche, les courbes de mes lèvres. Je suis une femme phénoménale. Femme phénoménale, c'est moi. Je marche dans une pièce tout aussi court que toi, s'il te plaît. Et pour un homme, il se tient debout ou tombe sous les genoux. Puis il se grouille autour de moi comme une ruche d'abeilles. Je dis, c'est la flamme dans mes yeux, le balancement de ma taille, l'éclat de mes dents. Je suis une femme phénoménale. Les hommes eux-mêmes se sont demandé ce qu'ils voyaient en moi. Ils essayent tant, mais ils n'arrivent pas à voir mon mystère intérieur. Je dis, c'est dans l'arc de mon dos. Le voyage de mes seins, la grâce de mon style, parce que je suis une femme phénoménale. Maintenant, vous voyez tous pourquoi je n'ai pas la tête baissée. Je ne crie pas, je ne saute pas pour ça. Ou dois-je parler vraiment fort? Quand vous me voyez passer, ça doit vous rendre vraiment fière, parce que je suis une femme phénoménale. C'est dans le clic de mes talons, le pli de mes cheveux, la paume de ma main, le besoin de mon attention, parce que je suis une femme phénoménale.
Now, grade 7 student Franklin Durbar will introduce the alumni speaker.
Good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Franklin Durbar of grade 7, and I'm here to introduce the alumni speaker for this August occasion. This alumni joined Tema International School in 2009 to pursue the International Baccalaureate Diploma program. She quickly became an active part of the community, participated in several sport teams and committees, and led the prefect's body as the assistant head prefect in the 2010-2011 academic year. After graduating in 2011, she went on to Carleton University in Ottawa, Canada to pursue a bachelor's degree in biomedical and electrical engineering. Upon completion of her degree in 2016, she joined the medical physics department at Ottawa Hospital Research Institute, where she conducted research to broaden the scope of cancer detection tools. Simultaneously, she was involved in a cardiac health research project at the University of Ottawa Heart Institute. She later went on to work at a Montreal-based biomedical engineering company, specializing in scientific respiratory research equipment. She is currently working as a biomedical engineer at Camillus Dental Inc. at Ottawa-based biomedical engineering company, where she is part of a team researching and designing novel medical devices. She is a feminist. She is passionate about women and minority equal issues, and continues to advocate for the participation of women and other minorities in the STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics field. She believes that as Ghanaians, it is our duty to develop our country and continent. She plans wrestling in Ghana in the future to contribute her ideas and words and energy towards African development and sustainability. In her spare time, she enjoys roaming arts museums and reading biographical and fictional books on a wide range of topics, including but not limited to society, culture, poetry, and African narratives. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome on stage Ms. Cecilia Odoko to give us her speech on behalf of all TIS alumni.
Thank you for the wonderful introduction. It was an honor to receive the invitation, and it's truly an honor to be back here. I would like to acknowledge the presence of Mrs. Ajavon, Dr. Sylvia Boy, the founding family, board of directors and governors, teaching and non-teaching staff, students and parents. So I know that one of the things most longed for in life is a short and direct speech. So I will oblige you, and I won't take too much of your time. Maybe 1 or 2 hours. I hope you brought everything you need. I'm kidding. I want to begin by telling you a story. It is a story of self-discovery and the moment I realized that I was responsible for who I wanted to become and that I had the power to create the life I wanted to live. Like most of you, I came to Tema International School, or TIS as it is commonly called, for an academic education. I had completed my IGCSE at another high school, and I decided to come to TIS because they offered the International Baccalaureate program, which I intended to take. Little did I know that I was in for a real-life education, one that goes beyond academia and extends to ideas, critical thinking, and values that have shaped and continue to shape who I am. When I was in IB1, I remember walking into the library one afternoon because I was bored. As I usually did, I chatted with Auntie Settle, our librarian, for about 5 minutes and then proceeded to roam through the aisles and scan through the books. I came across a book by Maya Angelou, whom I'd never heard of at that time. I remember quite vividly reading the following quote. "The thing to do, it seems to me, is to prepare yourself so you can be a rainbow in somebody else's cloud. Somebody who may not look like you, may not call God the same name you call God, if they call God at all, who may not dance your dances or speak your language, but be a blessing to somebody." Wow. For me, the moment was so profound because that was when I began to understand that I had the responsibility to everyone who came before me, everyone who would be with me, and everyone who would come after me, to be the best possible version of myself. It was within the walls of this school that I first recognized myself as a global citizen, as part of a broader world that expands beyond my parents, my brother, my extended family, and the school community. Imagine that. I believe that I was lucky to find the quote when I did, and most importantly, where I did. because what TIS offered me was an environment to discover who I wanted to become, to try and achieve that and try again in case I failed. I learned to apply critical thinking to theories inside and outside of the classroom from my theory of knowledge classes. Here, I was given the room to challenge opinions during discussions, regardless of whom they came from, be they from my teachers or my peers. I was forced to reason with facts and ideas which I could not find in books during heated debates in my literature classes. I learned, quite literally, to think outside the box of already established academic theories and ideals. Admittedly, the most humbling lessons came from being of service to others. Mrs. King, our community action and service coordinator, was instrumental in teaching me and my peers that a life lived is not worth much without service. I didn't know it at the time, but these lessons that I learned gave me the vision to make the best of the opportunities that came my way. I remember when I was in my third year of university, I had a 4-month summer vacation coming up, and I had nothing to do. A colleague mentioned to me that most university professors look for students to conduct research with them over the summer. Because I was confident in my abilities, and because TIS had taught me that my opinion was valuable, I walked into my professor's office and requested to be a summer research student. The initial response I got was that he already had enough students for the summer, but I was able to convince him that I'll be useful and that I would bring in a different perspective. The reason I mention this story is because convincing my professor to give me that opportunity that summer was the stepping stone to my first job after graduation and the one after, and the start to my career as a biomedical engineer in Canada. Thank you. I urge you to be honest with yourself, to judge your capabilities and work to exceed them. The lessons I learned here have been some of the most fulfilling life lessons because they have provided me with a sense of gratitude and have given me the skills needed to contribute to my community effectively. It is important to acknowledge TIS's journey as a school community. Like all education programs, it took time, risk, and dedication to build the IB program to where it is today. It was not always perfect, but through the hard work and dedication of our teachers, my peers and I were able to do our best with the resources that were available to us. It is also very exciting to see the growth this school is experiencing, both academically and socially. I was here on Monday when TIS held its first educational forum. It was impressive to see the panel of education experts have honest conversations about the state of our educational system and the changes needed to improve it. I was particularly impressed with the role of our alumni, Kwesi Edidakun, who works in education himself, in moderating these conversations. It goes a long way to show the caliber of people produced by this school. I urge you to take advantage of the resources available to you here at TIS and to speak up about the many ways in which you wish to see it improve. If you did not get much from what I've said so far, or if you managed to fall asleep, at the very least, take this. It is my hope that these few reflections on my journey so far inspire you in whichever directions you choose to take your life. Belonging to a school where excellence is the minimum requirement is already a step in the right direction. Have no doubt that the experiences you have and the lessons you learn on your journey here at Tema International School will become the foundations of your life ahead. So going forth, I wish you curiosity, I wish you challenges, and the courage to overcome these challenges, for it is how you build character. I wish you an unwavering sense of gratitude, and most of all, a belief in your abilities to create the life you want to live. Long live Tema International School, and thank you for listening. So on behalf of the Alumni Association, we would like to celebrate our matriarch, Mrs. Comforter Javon, with this citation, which I will now read. Real heroes are not those whose imaginations and grand plans are left to rust in the recesses of their minds. Rather, they are those who, when have dreamed dreams, wake up and chase after them. She who generations have called Ma, Mama, Aunt, sister, grandma, mamaga, teacher matriarch, heroine, and boss lady. We honor your sacrifice, hard work, and never-ending encouragement. You have always believed that we have the potential to be more than we are. You have led us places we didn't expect we would go. You taught us to expand our wings, and even in the thick of the storm, master the winds and soar. Where we stumbled, your gentle yet strong hands picked us up. In times of despair, your words, like cold water to a thirsty soul, made us refreshed. And when we encountered Goliath, you showed us how to sling our stone and steady our aim. Therefore, our dreamer, we celebrate the heart and mind that dreamed the initial vision, and we bless it. Our teacher par excellence, we honor you for imparting us with the wisdom, skills, and courage needed to take on the world. Our matriarch, you saw what we couldn't and believed what we doubted. Therefore, on this 6th day of October 2018, on the occasion of TIS's 15th anniversary celebration, the alumni of TIS, with deep joy and gratitude, presents this citation to Mrs. Comfort Ajavon in recognition of her tireless efforts and steadfast vision of making TIS a world-class institution. Long live Tema International School, the dream lives on. This is written by Elom Tete Tamaklo, IB class of 2015, on behalf of the Alumni Association.
This is also from Tema International School to say thank you.
Thank you so much.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, still in the business of alumni, there are two alumni students who played a very integral role in ensuring that when we spoke about schools that had vibrant alumni associations, TIS was not left out. And so today, as we celebrate 15 years, we want to honor and appreciate the efforts of these two students. Unfortunately, one of them is not here with us, Apioko Ashon, who's the first head girl. And so we'll call on our IG coordinator to do the presentation to Dela Atikese, who is here with us today. And while we wait for Dela, the cultural troupe will be getting ready to give us a performance. All right. Dela has played a very major role in ensuring that TIS has a place for its alumni. Instituting the Ajavon Memorial Cup 2 years ago, which brings all the family of TIS together, staff, parents, and students alike to have fun and compete. Thank you very much. Now, shall we have a performance from the cultural troupe?
I come to that because back on the net.
Sinabunako sinabunako na yomba sinabunako chape iko sinabunako chape iko zinabunanga ayandie zinabunako zinabunako na yomba zinabunako Zinabunako na yomba zinabunako chape iko zinabunanga ayandie zinabunako na yomba zinabunako Aba Ao zinabunako na yomba zinabunako aha aba Ao zinabunako na yomba zinabunako aha aba zinabunako na yomba zinabunako aha aba zinabunako na yomba zinabunako aha Sinabunako, Sinabunako na. Sinabunako na yoma, Sinabunako, iko, aha, aba.
Splendid performance by all standards, ladies and gentlemen. That was a beautiful performance from the TIS cultural troupe. Now the next person to grace this podium with his presence is somebody that, until Dr. Ken mounted this stage, I didn't know. I hadn't met him before. But through this process of planning for this 15th anniversary, I encountered him. And ever since then, he's become somebody that I aspire to be. Probably because we share something in common, a story that I'd like to share with you. This person grew up in a village in the Volta region somewhere. And he was one of the few intelligent people to have passed the common entrance exam in 1974. I'm not sure how old I was by then, but okay, yes, I just remembered. I think my dad was just a teenager then and probably hadn't even conceived the thought of proposing to my mom. But in that 1974, he passed that common entrance exam, but there was a challenge. His mother, Tona, who was a widow and a single parent, could not afford the cost of giving him a higher school education. And at that crucial point, when almost everything seemed lost, there was a divine intervention. Somebody that he describes, and this is from the person's words. This one intervention from Mr. Lavo convinced and compelled my mother to put aside her fears of college costs and send me to Kitasco. At this point, as far as I'm concerned, this person has achieved everything there is to achieve in his field of expertise. And in as much as I admire him so much and he's my model, I'm told I'm not worthy enough to introduce him. So I'll invite my proud grade 8 student, Clarice Pedersen, to do us the honors of introducing our guest speaker.
Our guest speaker for today is currently the chief editor of UN News at UN headquarters in New York. Yes, he traveled all the way to be here to celebrate with the TIS family. Within the United Nations, he has served as a senior communications advisor to the President of the 66th session of the UN General Assembly, His Excellency Mr. Nasir Abdulaziz Al Nasser of Qatar. He was an associate spokesperson for the Secretary General Ban Ki-moon between 2009 and 2010, and previously participated in some missions and travels with former Secretary General Kofi Annan. In his home country of Ghana, he served as the presidential spokesperson and head of communications for President John Mahama of Ghana for the whole of 2014 under a secondment arrangement from the UN. From July 2009, he served as the media advisor to the Bhutto Commission of Inquiry, which was established to probe the assassination of former Pakistani Prime Minister Benazir Bhutto, chaired by Ambassador Geraldo Munoz of Chile. He had earlier served for 3 months as the UN humanitarian spokesperson in Pakistan, right after the earthquake of October 2005. Before joining the UN, he worked for more than 12 years with the BBC World Service in London, UK, where he became the deputy editor of one of the BBC's flagship news and current affairs radio programs focused on Africa. He was the main presenter for a number of programs for Africa and became an easily recognized and popular voice through his engaging presentation of programs, including the popular morning news and current affairs show, Network Africa. Shall we now put our hands together for the ridiculously talented journalist of all time, Mr. Ben Joche Malo.
Ridiculously talented, Ampa. I actually feel very much at home right now because I look at all these flags behind me and all I could think of is my workplace, the United Nations. And I'm going to make an offer because I don't see the UN flag there. When I return to New York next week, I'm shipping a UN flag to fly here. So I can feel more at home. TIS, knowledge is the key. I want to try something. If I say TIS, can you respond? Knowledge is the key. Can we try? TIS. 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 I think you can clap for yourself. You've done so well. Thank you. This is a school, according to, is it Miss Donko? Odonko. She said it's a school where excellence is the minimum requirement. I like that, and I'm taking that with me to New York. Excellencies, any members of government here, the chair of the Board of Governors, Mr. Anis Hafa, I've been looking for him, and I want to show respect to the former board chair, Dr. Mrs. Sylvia Boy, and members of the board, parents, the principal, Dr. Ken Daval. This man is not an Australian. And I came here yesterday and the first thing he told me, Ben, it's a family. And he said it with such conviction, I felt immediately at home. We should stop calling you Dr. Ken, you are Uncle Ken, Wafa Ken. Okay? If it's not old enough to be your uncle, just call him Brother Ken or Onuya Ken. That way we know you are not going back down under, you are staying in Ghana. And great students of Tema International School, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Please allow me to start by acknowledging, appreciating, and honoring a great woman. A woman whose dream has resulted in all of us being here this day. A founder, a visionary, a tenacious person, a prime mover for the establishment of Tema International School, Mrs. Comfort Ajavon. May we give her a round of applause. Madam Comfort Ajavon, we pray that God will bless you more, that God will give you greater health, long life, and great contentment, a lot of fulfillment. When you see the young men and women who pass through this school come back here, we pray for you, for your family, the Ajavon family, and everybody who has supported you, that you will feel that satisfaction of having been a tool used by God to bless many people. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, please allow me one more time to call for a moment of silence in honor of an amazing man who was a pillar and a cornerstone in the realization of the dream we have here called Tema International School, Mr. Alphonse Ayite Ajavon. May we have a brief moment of silence in his honor. Thank you very much. And I have a confession to make about Mr. A.A. Ajavon. I attended Keta Secondary School, as one of the announcers mentioned, and this was and still is a school where Mr. Alphonse Ajavon was a key student in the pioneering class that started Keta Secondary School under a Ghanaian man, a notable Ghanaian man, a great Ghanaian citizen called Mr. Nathan Kwao. My point is, if Mr. Ajavon and Mrs. Margaret Gajakpo, Colonel Agbotui, and all those people had failed in that first starting time, I probably wouldn't be standing here trying to be your guest speaker. It is because they prevailed, they succeeded. So it is good for me to be back here, giving back somehow into an institution that has Mr. Ajavon's name associated with it. May his soul continue to rest in peace. May his ideals, his dreams, and his legacy live on in all of us. Amen. Yesterday was World Teachers' Day. So I'm taking some liberties just to appreciate and thank all the teachers here. If you are a teacher here, can you raise your right hand? Let's acknowledge you. If you're a teacher, let's clap for them. We thank you, our teachers. As the saying goes, if you can read, thank a teacher. If you can write, thank a teacher. If you can pass your exams, you probably need to thank a teacher. And I saw some people clapping for themselves because they've been teaching themselves. They are both students and teachers combined in one. I also want to acknowledge everybody who has been here for the last 15 years at the beginning of this school. I met yesterday a pioneer teacher. I met a pioneer parent. You don't go back to a place, you don't stay in a place that has been hostile and unfriendly to you. And that reflects the family nature which Dr. Ken mentioned. And so we want to thank everybody who has been here from the beginning and is still here right now. So ladies and gentlemen, excellencies, it is indeed a great honor for me to be here. A great honor addressing you here on the 15th anniversary of Tema International School. 15 years under the theme, reflecting on our journey, inspiring new directions. 15, it's a number that resonates with me because I joined the United Nations just 15 years ago from the BBC. And also, as Ken gossiped about me to you, I was given 15 minutes to speak to you. When I mentioned it, he actually warned me, how come we were given 5 minutes? So I saw he took more than 5 minutes. I don't know what to do with my 15 minutes. I also thought about giving you 15 points for the 15 years of Tema International School, but I realized if I do 15 points for 15 years, when this school turns 100, you probably won't invite me. I'll be offering you 100 points for the 100 years. I will probably be here for a whole day. So let me try and see what I can do with the limited time. The young woman here, Clarice, what was the phrase? Ridiculously, I wasn't sure she was talking about me, I must confess. The young woman introduced me and did a splendid job, let me admit. She said some fanciful things about me that made me blush a little bit, if you could see my face. Yes, it is true that I have worked in the British Broadcasting Corporation. But what Clarice could not tell you was that when I was in Kitasco, my spoken English was very poor. I wouldn't have considered myself a candidate to be talking to you here. I made mistakes in grammar that resulted in nicknames being given to me. I don't want to tell you some of the nicknames. You say you want to hear? Did I did it intentionally? From this position of poor spoken English, by the way, I'm still working on my English. In Qatar, to audiences of millions at the BBC in London, you will agree certainly takes a lot of God's grace, a certain determination and development which I see over here in Tema International School, and a lot of favor, and I remain deeply, deeply grateful. Yes, now I work in the United Nations in New York, but what Clarice couldn't tell you was that at a young age, I was a fish seller. I was selling fish for my widowed mom. I don't look like a fish seller today. Not many fish sellers are wearing glasses. So you may not realize I was a fish seller. And again, the journey from Mohavu through the BBC to the United Nations is a rather improbable one. But God makes the impossibilities to become realities. It is true, I worked for the President of Ghana in the previous administration. I've had the fortune of working and traveling with United Nations Secretaries General, but there was a time in my young life when I went to school without shoes. Shoes were a luxury. And I heard founding parents talk about washing machines, and I was laughing in my seat. We didn't have shoes. Why am I recounting these snippets of my life? Because I'm carrying this important, this humbling, this honorable sense of duty today to inspire a parent here to know that if your child who is working hard is still struggling with some subjects, please keep on encouraging them. They will succeed. They can succeed and they should succeed. I need to remind some younger ones here among us to know deep within themselves that you have what it takes to achieve great things. I have shared these snippets of my life to inspire Tema International School that you can open new doors, you can break new frontiers, and create new opportunities for the future. I want to let the young ones who are still in school here to know you have what it takes. There is hope for you. You have the seeds of greatness in you. Even if you are struggling with an issue right now, just hold on and keep pressing on. With the help of your parents, your teachers, and this great school, you will succeed and become a great global giver. In actual fact, if you are looking for a title for what I'm sharing with you, it is Be a Great Global Giver. Be a great global giver. And I am motivated to pick this as the title because of something Mahatma Gandhi of India said. And I think Ms. Odonko alluded to it. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. The best way you're going to find fulfillment in life is not everything you acquire for yourself. It is not out of selfishness. It is out of how you serve others and take satisfaction from that. I believe you cannot serve others without giving. In other words, serving others involves giving. A giver is a leader. A leader is a server. And a true server or a true servant of the people can always change the world. My dear friends, a sustainable and prosperous future for Tema International School will be determined by what this institution gives to the world. TIS can change the world by the caliber and quality of women and men that this institution gives to the world. TIS, and it is not TIS, will change the world through the achievements of the brilliant women and men who are produced from here and given to the world. If TIS is going to be that global institution that inspires for the future, then giving shall be a hallmark of everyone associated with this school. TIS must be the giving school. This must be an institution giving presidents to nations. This must be an institution giving scientists and inventors who are solving the problems of cancer, the problems of diabetes, the problems of heart attack in the world. TIS is capable of giving this to the world. Indeed, the good book says that it is more blessed to give than to what? To receive. And I heard a wise man say, givers will never lack. So my prayer is that TIS, being a giving institution, will never lack. If anything, may you overflow with abundance. If anything, may people who hear of you say they are blessed to be associated with you. Be a great global giver. I want to cite 3 amazing people who reflect all that I am here to share with you. I wish to honor the late Mr. Kofi Annan, my late big boss at the United Nations, and draw some nuggets from his life. He was a colossus, a Ghanaian who became a great global giver. He served as the 7th Secretary General of the United Nations, and I've had the rare privilege of working for him, the privilege of interviewing him, traveling with him on some of the trips. Mr. Annan was a truly modest man. I think you will be embarrassed to see people praising him in a forum like this. He carried a lot of dignity and respect, and he demonstrated excellence in his work. Mr. Annan did so well to surround himself with the best that he could find in professionals. And he also drew the best out of the people around him. Here is what Mr. Annan said about knowledge and education. Knowledge is power. Information is liberating. Education is the premise of progress in every society, in every family. In fact, when he passed away recently, 2 of his successors called him their good friend. If you can leave an institution and afterwards people who came after you can call you their good friend, then you've achieved a lot in life. Mr. Kofi Atta-Annan was a great global giver. Next, I wish to draw your attention and draw from the words of another great global giver whom I was privileged to call a brother, the late Komla Dumont of the BBC. This brother was probably the greatest international broadcaster to emerge out of Ghana. Komla rose through his pursuit of excellence. The high level of local and national appreciation he attained easily propelled him onto the global stage with the BBC. At the BBC, he came just soon after I left to go to the United Nations, and he raised the bar. He blazed new trails. He moved from radio to television and became beloved of people, whether black or white, Asian or African, European or non-European. Komla Apaka Dumont developed into a great global giver whose sacrifices could be appreciated not just beyond Ghana and Africa, but across the world. And now permit me for the third one to cite the example of an amazing woman who has become a great global giver, and that is Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey is this African-American media mogul who is now worth billions, not millions. She is worth billions of dollars. She has supported many philanthropic causes, including setting up, all by her own means, a leadership school for girls in South Africa. I kind of sense she could be Ghanaian. And there is no doubt that Oprah Winfrey is a great global giver. Right now in this hall, in this institution, I believe there are Oprah Winfreys among us. Right here among us, in the young ones, some who performed here, I believe there are Komla Dumonts. Right now, in my sense of faith, I want to believe that there are Kofi Annans in this hall. And right now, I want to believe that the world is open for them. I'm going to finish with these 3 lessons from the 3 people I have mentioned. These lessons should guide the next part of the theme for the 15th anniversary, which is inspiring what? New directions. If we are going to inspire new directions as a collective family, as individuals, there is one key thing we must do. Point number 1, have a dream. I saw a dream mentioned, and let me just say, I have just been watching for the 3rd time a brilliant HBO documentary on Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. It is titled King in the Wilderness. If I can buy that and bring for screening to the students here, I will do that in addition to the UN flag, I promised. But please, if you can, it's not an assignment, it's not homework. For you and your family and anybody you choose to inspire, get them this DVD called King in the Wilderness. You probably remember Dr. King for his famous speech, I have a dream. I have a dream that one day this nation, that is the United States, will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. had a dream that changed the United States of America and affected our world for good. The impact of Dr. King's dream is still being felt today, I believe. Your dream can transform the world. Dr. King was brilliant. He got his PhD at the age of 26. Sadly, he got assassinated when he was just 39. I am citing this as I believe that without Dr. King, there probably wouldn't have been a Barack Obama. I believe strongly. And so to the young ones here today, don't you ever think that you are too young to be a great global giver. Don't think you are too young to be a leader. Never accept anyone telling you you are too ambitious. You are never too young to lead. Mark Zuckerberg, the founder of Facebook, is right now just 34 years old. There are many of us here who probably could be his grandfather. But that 34-year-old has transformed our world and is worth probably $60 billion right now. Let me ask you, what is your dream today? What is the big dream you have written down somewhere to help guide you into the future? What do you have deep within you that propels you to wake up earlier in the morning, maybe 3:30, 4:30, to study more than others? What is that motivation within you, especially the younger ones in these days of smartphones? What is it that will compel you to leave your smartphone and say, I have an assignment, I need to score A+ in that assignment, I will put any games aside? Have a dream. Believe in the dream. Pursue the dream. You cannot become a great global giver without a dream. And when you do dream, please dream big. A songwriter says, when you dream big, it might come true. You may dream to be the first president, a female president of your country. It's possible to come true. And in fact, when you dream beyond Ghana, dream beyond Tema International School, dream beyond Africa, and dream to change the world. It is within your means. It is possible. And maybe you are asking me, I've heard this about have a dream, have a dream. How do I have a dream? We are here as a result of a dream. Do you have a wish? Do you sometimes come here and wish you had bigger structures in Tema International School? When you drive through Ashaiman, do you wonder how that place could be the cleanest in the world? Those things are the seeds for your dream. Sometimes it could look like wishful thinking, it could look like daydreaming, but that is how George Washington bridges are built, that is how Australia becomes a first world nation, and that is how lives are transformed for the better. Have a dream. And I plead with you, please write it down. There is a certain mysterious thing about writing the thing down, saying, I pray and hope that in 10 years' time, I'll become the president of Ghana, president of Nigeria, president of Liberia. Write it down somewhere. Certain forces come around when you write down the dream. Somehow, things that look impossible, you write them down, commit them to prayer, and you work on the dream, and somehow you will succeed. Write it down, have a dream. Can I mention two more things? Or shall I just close because Wafa Ken is looking at me? After having your dream, please, may I appeal to you, number two, make sure you have a friend, a good friend. I think there is a song about you have a friend in me. My dear friends, my young ones, my brothers and sisters, you don't need a bad friend who is going to mislead you with indiscipline and take you into drugs, alcohol, and those things that will destroy your life beyond recovery. You need a friend who encourages you to dream big. You need a friend who pushes you to excel. You and I need a friend who is there for us at all times, when we are weak or strong. A good book, the good book says that there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother, sticks closer than a sister. That is the kind of friend you need. let me just say, if you are going to be a King David, my brother, you need to find your Jonathan, who is going to make way for you into the palace for you to become king. If you are going to be a Ruth, you need to identify your Naomi so that you can meet your Boaz and fulfill your destiny. If you are going to be a Martin Luther King, you need a Reverend Andrew Young and a Reverend Ralph Abernathy in your corner. Even as you are at the front, they are behind you. You need a friend. Let me tell you a little story. Right among us here is a woman I admire a lot because she was in that pioneer class of Qatar Secondary School who blazed a trail. I had the privilege of sitting with her last year, February. She didn't know we were going to be here today and I'll be saying what I'm saying now. I asked her, was school difficult as the first batch? What about the subjects? And she said, you know, I couldn't do well, particularly in mathematics. But you know, Alphonse spent time with me, and on Sundays when we didn't go to school, he would teach me VVV so that I became good in mathematics and I passed the exam. The person I'm referring to is Mrs. Margaret Gajako. She had a friend in a man called Alphonse Ayite Ajavon. Many times in Kitasco, it wasn't the teachers who taught me how to lace my shoes properly. The teachers in TIS may not be able to teach you how to tie your tie. They may not teach you public speaking. In Kitasco, I had two friends who taught me how to study French. One of them told me, go and get a mathematics textbook from the library during long vacation and take that home. Work the maths, go to the back of the page and check the answers. That is how I became better in mathematics. Another one was there for me when I needed support. You need a friend. My third lesson finally is that to be a great global giver would require you to be a leader. Become a leader. Whoever wants to become great among you must be your servant. That is what the good book says. And the greatest among you will be your servant. For those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted. Can you be that servant leader, that solution finder whose knowledge and actions are transforming lives? Can you be that woman who finds the solutions to the health problems of Ghana or your country? Be that man who uses knowledge acquired in Tema International School to lift millions of people out of poverty. Be that servant leader who is a great global giver. Time will not permit me to stress determination, commitment, and humility, plus never allowing failure to keep you down. Let me just say one fundamental universal fact. Every successful person you are going to see has failed before and probably failed many times. We have the lights on in this place. I live in New Jersey and work in New York. I drive past the factory where Thomas Edison had to try thousands of times before developing the light bulb. He failed many times, but we are all beneficiaries of his success today. I pray for that tenacity for you. But the one thing I want to stress in closing, I believe in the power of faith. I believe we must have faith, because I believe faith galvanizes everything together in our lives, especially when we go through tough times, when we go through bad times, and there will be some tough times, Osibisa says, we are going, heaven knows where we are going. Your faith must know where you are going. It may be tough, but you will get there. So I see presidents and world leaders coming out of Tema International School. I see transformational leaders out of TIS. I see great global givers rising over the next 15 years, the next 50 years, with their foundations laid here in Tema International School. I'm praying that in 25 years' time, when you celebrate or on your silver jubilee, former students of TIS would fly to Kotoka International Airport in their own private jets. It is possible. You can call me a dreamer, but yes, it is possible. I'm saying it is possible. And there will not be just one plane, maybe there are several planes. It is possible in the next 15 years. It is possible in our lifetime. It is possible. Be a great global giver. May God Almighty bless you. May God bless Tema International School. God bless our homeland, Ghana, Nkosikeleli, Africa. And God bless every nation represented in this hall. I took more than your 15 minutes because I needed to give you Jara, I needed to give you Deji, and I have done my bit. God bless us all.
We are really grateful to Mr. Den Doche Malu for that captivating speech. Indeed, excellence is the minimum requirement here. But if we have a dream and a friend, we can open new doors and create new opportunities. And we will be the great global leaders you think so for us. But I must say that you said your teachers don't teach you public speaking. Well, I have to defend my teachers in this situation and say in Tema International School, indeed, they do teach us public speaking. And that I am proud to say that I am a member of the Debate Society, which helps us with our speaking abilities. Tema International School would like to show our gratitude by presenting you with a plaque, which will be done by Clarice Pedersen. Tema International School is a family school with a sense of communities. We live in a global world full of many different cultures. And we here in TIS, we are taught to be international-minded students. And that is respecting different cultures and being aware by them, and respecting the fact that one isn't a failed attempt as being the other, but instead, we are all different manifestations of the human spirit. Currently at TIS, the population comes from over 12 different countries from all over the world. And it is these people that make us the internationally diverse school that we are. They are part of our family, and I am delighted to invite Judah Sese, who is from Sierra Leone, to give us a message on behalf of TIS's international students. And right after her, we will showcase our diversity with an Indian dance, which will be performed by Jennifer Noronha.
Good afternoon. That's better.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Judah Sisay, and I am a Sierra Leonean. I am representing the international students of TIS, my school. This includes the Nigerians, the Russians, the Americans, the Liberians, the Beninois, the Togolese, the Brazilians, the Chinese, the Indians, the British, the Koreans, the Sierra Leoneans, and many others from all over the world. I would love to share my personal experience, but trust me, a lot of international students can relate. Moving to Ghana hasn't exactly been the easiest, but thanks to TIS, I have a place I know I can call home. Starting out here, I knew it was not going to be a smooth transition, coming from a very different community, country, pertaining to our different traditions, values, morals, leaving most of the things I'm familiar with behind, the people I'm familiar with, the food I love, and coming to a country where I know nobody and have no family members. I was told TIS is a family school, and indeed, they opened their arms and welcomed me warmly. I am thankful for that. Interestingly, one of the hardest challenges wasn't really making friends or adapting to a different education system. It was familiarizing myself with the commonly used terms here. For example, in my country, for bathing, we say wash, and for washing, we say brook or launder. So it was quite difficult to make the switch. And I know the members of Cecilia Room 11 can testify to that. And also, when Dr. Ken said TIS is a fast and furious school, I wondered how, but now I know we are really a fast and furious school. The thing is, after just 1 month of adapting and living here, I really feel at home, even more than when I am home, because of the people around me. Now I know why it's so hard for the alumni to leave, and when they do come back, the stories alone make you wish you had joined TIS since grade 7. I am grateful I feel at home, and I owe it all to TIS. On behalf of the international students, past and present, I would like to say thank you to our school, our haven, our home. And as we say in my country, we tell Papa God thank you for what you bring we at TIS. Happy birthday, TIS, and thank you.
दिल थाम के बैठिए क्योंकि अब आपके सामने तशरीफ ला रही हैं आगरा की अजीम फनकारा मलिका हुस्न नूर नजर मोहतरमा मोहिनी।
ये निगाहें नश्तर, ये होंठ कौसर, मेरी आगोश में होश भी बेहोश होगा।
अब भी वक्त है, निकल लो भाई लोग, नहीं तो कल सुबह अफसोस होगा।
ये शोखी, ये अदाएं, ये बांकपन, इनकी कीमत भला दुनिया तय कर सकती है क्या?
अच्छा चल इतना बता, तीनों का मिला के पैकेज में कुछ कम करती है क्या?
बरखुरदार, हुस्न का मजाक ना उड़ा, कहीं हुस्न के हाथों तेरा मजाक ना बन जाए। मन चला है, खूबसूरत है, मगर लड़का है तू, तुझे लड़कों और मर्दों में फर्क कौन समझाए?
लड़के और लड़के कहाँ से आया है रे तू, प्यारा है शक्ल से अकल का मारा है रे तू। लड़के और लड़के कहाँ से आया है रे तू, प्यारा है शक्ल से अकल का मारा है रे तू।
हाँ जल गई मेरी बातों से तू जल
जा सुधर जा मैं सूंघूं लगाऊं ऐसे बन रहा है जैसे कोई तोप है मैं मजा मैं चाहूं सजा मैं काटूं रजा मैं पूछूं जुआ यूं खेलूं होपलेस है तो मेरे में थोड़ी होप है हाँ डल गई आफत की डर हाँ डल गई हाँ खल गई तुझे खल गई मेरी बेपरवाही खल गई मोहतरमा तू किस खेत की मूली है जरा बता उड़ती फिरती अफवाह तेरा घाघरा दाद हो या हो दिल्ली बयागरा टीवी पे ब्रेकिंग न्यूज हर घाघरा बगदाद से लेके दिल्ली वागरा
Diversity is indeed at the core of the TI's education. And by the looks on your faces, I can tell you are really having fun this afternoon. Yeah, please, let's give it up for... Now, we have said it over and over again, that if not for the dream of one person, we won't be having what we are having today. And on that note, the staff of Tema International School wants to demonstrate our profound appreciation to our founder, Mrs. Comfort Ajavon, for helping us get this far. And to help us do that would be Miss Corrier of the English Department, Head of Department of the English Department. And she will be joined by Mr. Dakon, Auntie Gloria, Mrs. Agbali, and Uncle Ebi.
Our dear guest of honor, our guest speaker, who has given us such an illuminating speech already, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, all members of the TIS family, happy anniversary to us all. On the occasion of TIS's 15th anniversary, we stand here on behalf of all members of staff of Tema International School to express our appreciation to a wonderful woman. A woman of few words, but significantly transforming action. A woman whose vision by the side of her husband has made extraordinary impact on the lives of many young, inquiring minds yearning for an opportunity to be equipped with the relevant education for their roles in the world. A woman whose vision, alongside her husband's, has made a way for many like us, staff of this great institution, to find a platform on which to execute our mandate, our calling. An environment in which we are able to proudly touch lives for bigger, better, greater contribution to the development of our global community. Ladies and gentlemen, with a rapturous round of applause and perhaps a standing ovation, I crave your indulgence, help us appreciate this woman, Mrs. Comfort Ajavon, as we present to her our token. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mrs. Ajavon. Now we call on one of us to read a citation on a plaque to our dear mommy.
And it reads, "With heartfelt appreciation, we present this plaque to Mrs. Comfort Ajo Ajavon on the occasion of the 15th anniversary of Tema International School for a cherished and ageless dream. With gratitude from the staff of Tema International School, October 3, 2018.
Thank you very much, staff. And thank you very much, Mrs. Ajavon. Now, I'm sure you may have realized that the atmosphere has changed a little bit because a very distinguished personality just walked in to our midst. Please help me welcome and acknowledge the presence of the Second Lady of the Republic of Ghana, Her Excellency Mrs. Hajia Samira Baumia. May I also take the opportunity to acknowledge the presence of a few other distinguished guests. We also have the Member of Parliament of Ashaiman, Mr. Ernest Dogbe. Shall we acknowledge him? We have the Chief Executive Officer of ASHMA, Mr. Albert Boache Ochere. Can we see him? I understand we have principals of other schools in our midst. Can we get away from them? If any of them? Oh, thank you and welcome. Can we see a wave from our alumni? Alumni, former students of TIS? Oh yeah, welcome. It's great to have you back. And we also have in our midst the former principal of Tema International School, Mrs. Kote. Mr. Kote, sorry, Mr. Kote, pardon me. And also Mrs. Owusu-Ado, who also doubles as the principal of East Airport International School. Thank you very much for joining us. Now, the list is still coming in, so as and when I receive them, I'll duly acknowledge the people. But since we are still in the business of acknowledging and appreciating our heroes, there's a special group of people that we need to acknowledge and appreciate. When TIS was established in October 2003, it started with 68 students, pioneer students, and 29 pioneer staff. 10 of those were teaching staff, and then 19 were non-teaching staff. As we celebrate 15 years of being in existence, we have 8 of the 29 pioneer staff still with us, who have stuck with us and gone through the tides with us, and we want to appreciate them. Now, one particular person that's worthy of mention is the only teaching staff member that is still with us, Miss Adelaide Ferguson. Now, to help us appreciate these loyal servants of TIS, may I invite Mr. Anthony Ayi Ejavon to present plaques to these loyal servants. Shall we welcome him? Okay.
How many are there?
There are 8.
8 of them.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'll do all the 8.
Yes, please. Okay. So the first to come is Miss Doris Bomita. Oh. She's part of the cleaning team, and she was one of the people that ensured that our first students and staff had a clean environment to live in. The second person is Mr. Hope Bickley, also part of the cleaning, the head of security, sorry. He's the head of security of Tema International School. The next person is Miss Charity Agbenya, also part of the cleaning. Next is Miss Nancy Doe. Miss Nancy Doe from the kitchen department. She was one of the people that prepared the first meal that our pioneer students enjoyed. Next is the head of transport, Mr. Abraham Anumkwe. And for 15 years, he has ensured that our movement to and fro has been smooth. Mr. Francis Adeujo, also part of the cleaning team. The last but one person had his first office in what is now Mr. Tay's bedroom. Let's welcome Mr. Eddie Tokonu, the administrator. And last but definitely not the least, the only surviving pioneer teaching staff, Mrs. Adelaide Ferguson. Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Mr. Antonia Javon. Now, at this point, we would have our guest of honor's remarks. But as I mentioned earlier, I am not worthy of introducing a lot of people today. So I would call on Cyril Davis of grade 9 to do the introduction. Cyril.
Our guest of honor is a passionate advocate for women's rights, women's health, child education, and gender parity. She works tirelessly through the Samira Empowerment and Humanitarian Projects as founder and CEO to provide critical interventions in these areas. She has represented Ghana and the African continent at various conferences and summits on tackling human trafficking, women empowerment, productive health, and women's rights. She is an ambassador for the Global Alliance for Clean Cook Stoves, which promotes the adoption of clean cooking solutions across the world in a bid to create cleaner environments and eradicate deaths caused by pollution from the burning of solid fuels for cooking. She was recently named a World Habitat Humanitarian Ambassador by the World Habitat Ambassadors Foundation, a non-governmental organization committed towards achieving the Sustainable Developmental Goals and urban development. She has been honored as the African Woman of Excellence for her contribution to the cause of humanity. An avid reader and a creative art enthusiast, Her Excellency supports the arts industry and encourages the youth to pursue their dreams across interest areas bolstered by education. She is intent on contributing significantly to the success story of Ghana by leveraging her position of influence to empower women, children, and the youth. This lady holds a Bachelor of Arts degree from the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology and an MBA from the Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration, where she graduated top of her class. She is married to His Excellency Dr. Alhaji Mamadou Bamia, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, with whom she has 4 children. Our guest of honor is someone I know we have all been waiting for. Shall we give a resounding round of applause for the second lady of the Republic of Ghana, the wonderfully
Mrs. Comfort Javon,
co-founder of TIS, board of directors, the principal, Ken Duval, Mr. Bendoche Malo, staff and head of student council, parents, students, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It's really an honor to be here today, and thank you for inviting me. I would have come anyway, but thank you for inviting me. Today's event does not only mark the 15th anniversary of this exceptional school, but also the beginning of a new exciting adventure in pursuit of academic excellence. Indeed, 15 years in the life of any person or institution is remarkable and worth celebrating. 15 years of being a leading school in our great country is no mean feat, and I congratulate all stakeholders. This year's theme, reflecting on our journey, inspiring new directions, is interesting for various reasons. It allows us to use this opportunity to remember the good and bad, being grateful for the present, while projecting our dreams and aspirations. Reflection is an experience. It is our journey. Undoubtedly, there have been challenges which you've successfully overcome and great achievements. There have also been impactful moments which you are proud of. After reflection, those moments propel you. Let them inspire greatness in you. Let others be inspired by your story of resilience, perseverance, and pursuit of excellence. For 15 years, Tema International School has been at the forefront in providing world-class standards in education, and I commend the school for this great feat. This journey has been a process of working through each step to arrive at one and the next one, with each step motivating and inspiring the next. It's important to note progress and to celebrate success, while honoring the founders, pioneers, alumni, teachers, staff, students, and everyone else whose contribution has brought us this far. All of us, without exception, need an inspiration to be better. The teachers, staff, and alumni of this school should be a great inspiration to you, my dear students. This is your training ground. The TIS experience covers academic excellence, leadership, cultural, sporting, and service learning experiences and opportunities for all of you students. While we celebrate our successes today, we should be mindful of the challenges ahead. This is an opportunity to remind ourselves not only of how far we've come, but what we hope to see in this institution for the next 10 to 20 years and beyond. In spite of all the successes, however, there's still much that could be done. And it's my hope that this outstanding school will continue to be the beacon of hope for generations yet unborn. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, if we're to contribute to the intellectual development of our future generation, then we must continually expect and insist on best practices, especially in this institution, which we expect a lot from. I urge you to challenge your assumptions regularly, maintain and protect who you are, and remember that being a person of integrity with the right attitude is a valuable asset. Apologize when you're wrong, admit mistakes, forgive and ask for forgiveness, listen more, and speak out when the need arises. Above all, stand for truth always. I encourage you all to find your purpose, remembering that along the way there will be hurdles you will have to overcome. Quitting is not an option. A successful generation is one that has the ideas to solve problems within their own communities, and always remember that. I congratulate Mrs. Ejavon for her steady leadership, for inspiring all of us to rally behind you. And of course, we don't forget Mr. Ejavon, who is in glorious heaven and who has also been part of this dream. May God bless him as well. I thank you all, especially the parents who've entrusted their children to this institution. Thank you for being a part of this success story, and see you again in 15 years. I won't have children then, but then I'll come back for your anniversary. Thank you so much.
Thank you very Thank you very much, Mrs. Samira Biomia, for not only gracing us with your presence, but giving us words such as quitting is not an option, and we will continue to be the beacon of hope that you believe us to be. Because not only are you a proud parent, but you're a distinguished member of the CIS community. We would like to show our appreciation for you through these flowers and a plaque by the name of CIS. Service is more than a core component. Service is more than a core component that we run here in TIS. It is one of our values that we take very seriously. The DP students engage in CAS projects and experiences throughout their 2-year program, and the MYP students engage in service and action community projects. TIS students are consistently reminded about how important every little action is towards making the world a better place. When I talk about TIS student initiatives, I would like to emphasize that what matters is the impact we have on society that is meaningful, transformational, authentic, and fun. We gain skills that develop us as long-life learners. We engage with our communities, and as a result, we identify problems. We take action, we find solutions, and we reach out and make positive change in our societies. The opportunities in TIS to help to develop caring and compassionate citizens are endless. I personally look forward to grade 11 to start my CAS project because I have really been inspired by my seniors' initiatives. Service initiatives have really evolved over the years, from the Diveme outreach to the Odiabi canteen with Father Campbell, to Akali Kope, to the recent incubator by Interact Club of TIS. And many more initiatives are also present by our MYP Student Service and Action projects. Now, let's travel through the years and witness what TIS has been engaged with in the communities near and far from our campus. Kindly turn your attention to the screens on my left and right and watch a shortcut video.
students a lot of exposure. CAS, creativity, activity, and service, are what I like to call the core of education.
a group of passionate and committed individuals can do, I'm really inspired for the next 15 years. Now, service comes in different forms, and that might be even joining your own TIS club. So now, on this note, may I invite the TIS Pop Band to give us some melodious tunes.
Emma? I'm not a stranger to the dark. Hide away, they say, 'cause we don't want your broken parts. I'm to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say, no one will love you as you are. But I won't let them break me down to dust, 'cause I know there's a place for us. For we are glorious. The sharpest words wanna cut me down. I'm gonna send the flood, I'm gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me, look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen, I make no apologies. This is me. This is me. We are warriors. That's what we become. Won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us. For we are warriors. But the sharpest words wanna cut me down. I'm gonna send a flood, I'm gonna drown them out.
Thank you very much, Pop Band. When I came up after the Indian dance, I acknowledged that the looks on your faces indicated that you were having fun. But now looking at the looks on your faces, I'm not sure what to make of it. Perhaps an indication that it's time for us to go. All right. I understand. Some people are feeling the heat down here. Okay. Now, this is not very funny. I recall I also said that I wasn't worthy to do some things and introduce some people, but this particular one does not sit very well with me. Because you have been such a wonderful audience, and my program says that I can't even say thank you. So maybe next time when I'm called to the MC job, I'll do some negotiations. Shall we invite the heads of individuals and societies, Mr. Ben Dakon, to give us the vote of thanks?
I believe you agree with me. We've had such an awesome, amazing, extremely useful day. And no one can begrudge us TIS of the joy we share on this special anniversary Durbar Day. We have learned a great deal and are very much indebted to all who have made this TIS dream a reality. We acknowledge our co-founders, the late Mr. Alphonse Ayite Ajavon, may his soul rest in peace, and Mrs. Comfort Ajo Ajavon, and the founding family for their vision that has lived on. Thank you for birthing and gifting to the world Tema International School. I am here to continue to spell out words of thanks to all those who made this anniversary Durbar a sweet memory to carry home. Gratitude, as they say, is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parents of all others. And I like the quote by William Arthur Ward, that feeling gratitude and not expressing it is like wrapping a present and not giving it. I deem it a proud privilege to stand before you to place on record the contribution of every noble heart towards the success of today's event. We raise our heart in gratitude and thank the Almighty God for blessing all of us with this delightful day. We wish to express our gratitude to Her Excellency, Hajia Mrs. Samira Baumia, the Second Lady of the Republic of Ghana, for accepting to be our guest of honor. Madam, your presence and the gentle words of appreciation is a source of encouragement for us all. We will forever remain grateful to you, and we thank you for being with us today. Thank you one more time, Her Excellency. A big thank you to Mr. Ben Doche Malo, our ridiculously talented keynote speaker, whom I'm trying to call him Wafa or Uncle Malo, for that inspiring motivational talk. I'm sure the students, parents, and all present here will have a lot to take away from your speech. You have admonished us to be global givers, to dream and dream big. And I can assure you, we are living here to reassess the suitability of those around us whom we call our friends. We have to get the right friends around us. Our sincere gratitude goes to our parent speaker, Ms. Theresa Osei Tutu, for your sense of optimism when you gave the infant TIS a high score on your evaluation score sheet. For all the P's that you use, you scored the school very, very, very high. And you are grateful for having that confidence and hope in that infant school, in spite of your anxieties and uncertainties we had before then. And to all parents and well-wishers, thank you for the solid support during this 15-year journey. We appreciate your loyalty. To our luminous speaker, Ms. Cecilia Donko, and all alumni here present, if you can give me a wave, all alumni here present, yeah, we say thank you. Indeed, the impact you are making in the world gives ample testimony that Tema International School nurtures world-class citizens who are responsive to the needs of society. We are proud of you, our cherished alumni. Next in list, the Chairman of the Board of Governors, Mr. Anis Safar, and all members of School Governing Board, the former school advisor, Dr. and Mrs. Sylvia Boy, and our faculty headed by Dr. Ken Dava, the principal. We appreciate you for your unflinching support, mentoring, and guidance in making this day a memorable one. With deep sense of appreciation, we recall the efforts of our dear loving students and teachers and all staff, both present and former. Your days of hard work did bear much fruit today. We thank you wholeheartedly for your stewardship. Our sincere thanks to the stage setters, photographers, sound light engineers, protocol team who added color and festivity to this Durbar. An event like this cannot happen overnight. The wheels started rolling weeks ago. It requires planning and a best eye for details. We have been fortunate enough to be backed by a team of very motivated and dedicated colleagues who formed the anniversary committee, headed by Mrs. Frances Okudzeto Ajavon, the Deputy General Manager. We say Ayuko to Anniversary Planning Committee. Finally, we thank the various groups and individuals for their cute performances on the stage. You did really lift the audience off their feet. Hats off to you, my dear students. I cannot thank anyone enough for their involvement and their willingness to take on the completion of tasks, culminating to the success we share on this Durbar. Once again, I want to state that we are all most grateful to you all. We thank you for being with us this day. It has been a great pleasure. Thank you. Thank you. May God bless you all.
No. Thank you, Mr. Dako. We are almost at the end of this Durbar, but there's one person that I need to acknowledge. Miss Nelly Kemevo. She's the Epijahima of Adonting Equiapem. Shall we? And she's a friend, she's a sister to Mrs. Comfort Ajo Ejavon. Thank you for... Okay, now a few announcements before we take the school hymn led by the school choir, and then finally the recession. After the recession, there will be picture taking in this order: Board of Governors, the founding family, all the speakers we've had today, SMT and staff, parents, students, and then guests. So please, right after the recession, we would have these photographs on this stage. And then afterwards, we would have some refreshment. Staff, parents, and students will have refreshment on the field. Some nice things have been set up under the canopies on the field. And then our guests would have refreshment just behind the stage. So we just go through that and then. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us for this wonderful and August occasion of Tema International School. You are only 15 once, and we are glad that we got to enjoy and share that with you. Shall we have the school choir to lead us with the school hymn? and hello, hello. And then after that, we would have the flag recession. Okay.
On that fateful day, 17th of October, 1998, after having the documents from TDC, I went to the land. There was a boulder there. I sat on it and shed tears of joy. I prayed that the schools should succeed. I believe it has succeeded. I believe so strongly.
It gives me great pride to know that we have produced over 500 graduates that are impacting or having a positive impact in society. The founders had a dream that this school was not going to be for the Oxford goers, the Cambridge goers alone. They wanted the school to be a home away from home.
The world is large, but it's becoming smaller. So the idea is to give our young people here as much exposure as possible, so that we want them to be universal, we want them to be international minded, so that they see the world in a certain place where we never had.
Tema International School aims to be the international school of choice, producing or nurturing world-class citizens who will make a difference to the world, make it a better place.
As a parent, I would want to say that I have seen a progressive developmental institutional investment program, and I think it's worth its while.
TIS carries you along. They take you, help you, encourage you, take you to the next level.
TIS is the right place to go if you want to progress.
The best thing you ever experience, and it'll be the most amazing time of your life.
If they are looking for a boarding school to be exact, I recommend this school because everyone is welcoming and the school itself is welcoming and you feel safe here. I get a feeling of family.
TIS, we are a family school with a sense of community to make sure that our students become world-class citizens.
TIS has been, is, and honestly forever will be my home.
Big thank you to everyone in the TIS community for supporting TIS in its 15 years journey. Watch out for the lineup of activities come October 2018, where we celebrate our 15 years of existence. We may be requiring parent support in terms of sponsorship, in terms of commitment, because there will be a lot of work that would have to be put in to ensure that the anniversary celebrations are successful. I'm counting on staff support, I'm counting on student commitment, and I'm counting on the entire TIS community, friends of the school, parents of the school, and everyone to support us in every way they can to ensure that we have a successful 15 years celebration. Thank you.